Hintergründe, Menschen, Unterhaltung. Hoodie Place.R, der Interview-Podcast. Live mit dem Mann unter der Kapuze. Hoodie Place.R. Im Studio Ollie.
Hoodies, we are back und hier ist Ausgabe 50, das glaube ich nicht, wir haben Ausgabe 50 erreicht, seit Start 2015, 8 Jahre später haben wir Ausgabe 50 erreicht, wow, ein Jubiläum, wirklich, das wird gefeiert und zwar mit Eric und Julie Lewald, die X-Men Creators von der animierten Serie aus den 90ern, die sich bei uns beliebt hat, populär heute auch in den USA. Wow, ja, die beiden sind perfekt dafür. Thank you guys that you joined me. Das Interview ist in Englisch, the interview ist in Englisch, but it is awesome. Es ist wunderbar für die 50. Ausgabe. Vielen, vielen Dank, dass wir so weit kommen dürfen. Danke an alle, die mich motiviert haben und so. Aber erstmal, das X-Men-Interview ist wirklich einer der Krönungen unseres Podcasts. Viel Spaß. So, Hoodies, wir sind zurück. We are back as a 15 episode. Das ist die 50. Episode von Hoodie Place.R. And I have a really great special guest. Really great special guest. So, huge childhood memories and new memories. Here's Eric and Julia Lewald from the X-Men series, the animated series. Here we go, guys.
Hello, Ollie.
Hello.
Hello.
From Southern California. Hello.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the book. It's a great book what you have to bring out. It's great what you... Yeah, wow.
We're just here beating the drum for the good old X-Men, the animated series.
Yeah, thank you.
So how are you guys? How's the life in Bayou, California?
It's a beautiful day out there. Sorry, I know it's February in the rest of the world, but it's gorgeous out here.
It's sunny. It's warm. One grown son just got married. The other one will get married in April. So
whoa!
We just sit back and we're done.
Yeah, you're very blessed, by the way, with that, right?
Oh
yes,
my gosh!
Yes.
Yep. Oh,
yeah.
And here's my what gefeiert im University. Entschuldigen Sie bitte, aber ich spreche ein Deutscher langsam. Is that the right
she can German. That's great. Oh, wow. What a surprise. Great.
That's all I got.
Wow.
I forgot all my German, but I play a good game of Scott. 28.
That's great. Wow, that's great, really great. So tell me, guys, how you guys meet each other and how you guys made this amazing series from our great childhood, and so much people love the series. Please tell me the begin stories of you both.
And just want to clarify who we are.
That's Eric and Julia. Yeah, you know.
Eric is what we consider the showrunner for X-Men the Animated Series, and his name is on every episode. He developed for television the X-Men property. I am a writer on the show, wrote specific episodes, but was also pitching and got to be the whole 5-year run.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And we met at Walt Disney Television Animation, where
that's so amazing.
We both wrote scripts for the Disney Afternoon.
For Chippendale, for Darkwing Duck, for Goof Troop, for Tails, also for Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, to show you how much better she was at that. For Chippendale, I wrote 4 scripts. She wrote 13. 14?
14.
Wow.
But and we each met there.
Yeah.
I grew up in Texas, and my family is from Wisconsin. I say that just because I didn't know people could move to Hollywood and become writers until my senior year in college. So I bit the bullet and got in a car and drove from Texas to Los Angeles back in 1980.
Wow, that's a huge,
internet.
yeah,
Way before the
ages.
internet.
Yeah, ages,
Yeah.
you both. It's
And it
ages.
took me 10 years. I'm telling this to anyone. It took me 10 years to get my first break, which was at Disney TV Animation, to write for
Wow.
Chip and Dale.
Wow.
And the guy who was in the next office.
I was in the next office. So she got a good job and she got a husband.
And
Whoa.
he came from Tennessee.
Yeah, I came from Tennessee.
Tennessee, yeah, yeah.
And I love movies. I came out here to find and worked on some small independent movies. Came out to Hollywood hoping to do that. And the first really good opportunity I got, and it took many years, not 10, but many years to the first good professional offer. My neighbor was working for Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh, legendary, man, legendary.
And
Yeah.
And they just got a big order. They just got a double order for new shows. And he told me, he said, "Look, I know you're right. They need new writers." So I pitched there. I got my first job there, and then it grew. But it's first job was for Hanna-Barbera.
Wow. Wow, that's a great story. And you made so much classic ones from Disney. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Really, that's a wow. I love all the series that you name it. It's yeah, that's my time, obviously. And how you became married? Tell me.
Well, no, truly, we met at Disney,
Yeah.
and I was finally doing the job I've been trying to do for 10 years. I was finally getting paid to be a writer in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you were doing the same thing, and I didn't want an office romance.
She was worried. She said, "Oh, we cannot start this, going out together
This is my dream job. I don't
because
want to
we'll get in
blow it.
trouble. It's an office
Yeah.
romance."
And then if we break up, it's going to be ugly. I don't
Yeah.
want.
I get it.
But it's a big place. This is a big place. There may be 50 writers there, 100 artists.
Yeah.
So we still have lots of friends.
Yes.
Lots of friends
Yes.
from there from 30 some years
We
ago.
made our best friends there.
Wow.
And he
Wow.
worked with them on many, many other shows, and a number of them worked on X-Men for us. And so
Truly the most talented people there at Disney. It was
yeah,
just magic.
so it was a good time. I was there 3.5 years. You were there three. And by the time we left,
Wow.
we were married, and our first baby was coming. So,
Wow.
so that's
Wow, that is wow, that is a great history you have together. Wow, it's what a story. Wow, it's amazing, really. Yeah, please.
To share with you, we just celebrated our 33rd anniversary this last Friday on February 3rd.
Wow,
33
my
on
congrats. Wow,
So-
that's a huge number. Wow,
That's-
wow. That's a huge number. Wow, my deep congrats and all the best for you guys in the next 50 years, obviously.
Thank you. We'll shoot for it. We'll aim for it. Yeah.
And Disney. I mean, X-Men came pretty soon after Disney.
Okay.
For a year,
We were in the freelance market.
most writers out here work just script to script, not on staff, and we did that a little. And then I got a year working for Fox on Beetlejuice, running the show on that.
Yeah.
And that's the connection. Doing a good year on Beetlejuice for this new young Fox TV
Show, yeah.
network.
Network up.
Then
Yeah.
they were planning to do X-Men, and they looked around and said, who around do we thinks fits best, is the best style, the best tone for X-Men? Because I did not, and Julia did not, and my main writer did not know the X-Men before we started.
The X-Men before? Oh, whoa, that is, wow.
I know.
Wow,
I know.
wow.
I got the
Coming clean right now.
phone call Sunday night saying, come in Monday, you're going to do the X-Men. And I said, I don't know the X-Men. I said, we'll learn it fast.
Wow.
No internet. No, I could not
internet.
Google.
Yeah,
I
at
could
the
not
time.
Google the X-Men.
Yeah,
They
the
had hired
internet.
Eric
Yeah.
to put him on hold for a different show, and he was planning to go into this meeting on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And then you got the call Sunday night saying,
It's X-Men.
you're not doing that show. You're doing this show. You're doing X-Men. And you had no prep time at all. And you're going into this meeting, major meeting.
Stan Lee, all the people are there, I am Saban, and so you just smile and keep your mouth shut and say nothing that could sound stupid, and let them all do the talking and say, okay, I'll have some work for you in a week or two. Just fine, wonderful.
Wow.
I agree with everything. So.
Now on the art side of it.
Yeah.
All the artists knew the X-Men by heart. They grew up with them. They loved the comics. So Will Mineo, Larry Houston, all Rick Hoberg, all the art side of the production.
Yeah.
They knew them. So there wasn't a worry that we would do something that didn't fit with the comics. So as the writers and I learned the comics, we had them to ask questions. We had them
of course,
the expert to be the encyclopedia for us about what the X-Men were and what they were not.
What
now,
they do,
It's the year 1992, and Eric keeps saying, and I keep saying there was no internet. But there was no internet.
Obviously.
But in 1992, here in the United States, we had 3 major networks. We had what we call ABC, NBC, CBS.
Yeah, that's right.
That was it.
For 50 years, 3 networks.
And if you didn't sell your show to one of the major networks, it wasn't getting on the air. And Margaret Lesh, who became the president of Fox Kids, had been working at Marvel and had been trying to sell X-Men.
None of the 3 networks liked it. They thought, no, it's terrible. No one will watch these superheroes.
Kids don't get it.
Kids won't get it. It'll be little men in their pimply teenage boys in their basement, but nobody else will watch this show.
So in the late 80s, early 1990, Fox became a mini major
network. A very small
network.
Maybe 5% of the audience was watching Fox.
And Margaret Lesh was tapped to be the head of what became Fox Kids. And one of her first edicts is, it's going to take a couple years, but I'm going to put on a Batman show and I'm going to put on an X-Men show. And that's how we ended up with Batman the Animated Series. And that's how we ended up with X-Men the Animated Series. Her vision.
But within 6 weeks of X-Men being on Fox, it was ahead of the other 3 networks of the big ones. It was just for children. It changed it completely. It turned our U.S. TV market upside down, and then Fox was the leader since then.
And we have found out that there were some Saturday mornings here in the United States where half of all TVs in the U.S. were tuned into the X-Men. They beat ABC, NBC, CBS combined. It was that kind of a show.
Which is very strange for us because we're just writers. We're at home. We're sitting. We're typing. We're doing our stories. We hand them in, and we do the next story. We didn't have connection really with the fans, with the audience. And someone is just tapping us and saying, "Have you seen the numbers?
The ratings."
Well, what do you mean? So it means that 30 million Americans watched your episode last weekend.
Wow.
And then Fox was good at getting X-Men all around the world. So that was replicated. Good numbers in Europe, good numbers in South America, good numbers in Asia. So we meet people everywhere. We at airports in Singapore, or they come. If we have an X-Men T-shirt on,
I'll see it. Please, an X-Men.
They say, "Oh, I grew up, watching your." So to our astonishment.
What an honor for you guys.
Shown all over the planet.
We're talking to you.
Even me. Wow. But I think it was good to have you not experienced with the X-Men. Because of that, you made it so great. Because you have no knowledge, and I think you have a neutral look on this show, and so made it really, really perfect. That is my. I will think that.
Danke gut. That's because we think that, and the artists think that too. They said it was nice. We had fresh eyes.
That was it.
Yeah, that is one. Yeah, fresh. Fresh look.
A fresh look, and it just was. It was one of the many things that were very lucky. 10 different good things happened. We laugh, say we each worked on 50 different
Yes,
series
series.
over
15.
our career.
Wow.
And that was the one time it all came together just right.
Yeah.
The right artists, the right writers, the right
The right,
network.
right executives.
The
That
right,
never happened.
yeah. We praise our bosses, our hard businessmen bosses,
Yeah.
because they got the X-Men. They loved the X-Men. They didn't tell us to change it. They said make it true to the comic books.
Yeah.
So everything on that, all the luck came together perfectly.
Yeah, and you made it so good, guys, really. 5 seasons. I really love that. Thank you so much. Really.
Well, and thank you. It is such a treat to us to be able to talk to you about this. And it's 30 years later. 30
Yeah, 30
years later.
years. Yeah, you say it. You say it 30 years later. Wow. Huge.
I know.
Well, ages,
but-
guys, ages. Wow, that's ages, I was 12, 13 at the
Oh.
time. Yeah, so
Target demographic. You were the target demographic.
yeah. I think you made it so good, and you have a fresh look on that, and I think that this has made it so special. And X-Men starts 3 years later when you started in the US, here in Germany. And I remember on the Trailer in Germany, die X-Men, bald im Fernsehen, schaltet ein auf KRTL. I remember this trailer on RTL. So, wow, this was so great. And I saw the series, but I love the intro. I love this intro. There's so great music, melody, and photos and animation. Wow, that was so cool, really. Wow, that was really such a huge change in my life, because I watched Iron Man before, came in on the same network, and I say then X-Men, yeah, they have X-Men. Wow, I will look on it, and it's so perfect. Thank you guys, really.
Well, and we want to give credit again to Margaret Lesh, who was president of Fox Kids, had said to you,
Yeah.
look, X-Men is a big comic book at the time, again in 1992.
Yeah.
But the comic book market even then was very small. I mean, it was a popular market, but it wasn't all over. And you had to introduce the X-Men to 90% of the audience because they wouldn't know who they were.
She warned that for most, not for you, but for most viewers, in 1992, 93, X-Men was a new idea.
Yeah.
They didn't know mutants. They didn't know the comic books. So for most of the viewers on TV, so we had to be very careful to be clear and focused and clear and simple with our stories so that people would understand who all these people were, what their strange mutant world was like, and never take for granted that people knew these characters, because some writers who love the books would pitch stories
Of course. Yeah.
that as if the entire audience knows these people already, and we had to tell them, no, most people we have to be clear. We have to, so that was a good note from her to remind us that it wasn't, we weren't just making it for the fans of the comics. We were making heroic stories for everybody.
Because most fans back then knew Batman and Superman because there had been films and a TV series.
Of course.
But as far as if you ask the average person on the street back then, they couldn't have named you one of the X-Men, probably. I mean, so the fact that again, 30 years later, billion-dollar film franchise, Marvel MCU.
In Germany.
Different
In Germany at school, maybe on Monday you go to school and you talk about the show on Saturday. Is that was it popular among your friends?
Yeah, Saturday was the time that it came. Yeah, that was first, and when the came again the episodes on this was some Sunday morning, but this was Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, that's right, that's true. And this was the special. I think this is so. We have some cartoons, some Sunday and Saturday. There is no more at the time. It's really sad, in my grow age, I watch even cartoon and stuff. I watch on the internet. So it's really sad we have it's not here. But the time changes. We have streaming, and we have so many other things to do to watching TV. And when you tell me, guys, 3 years before we have Netflix, I would not believe you not a word, you know. So yeah,
Viewing habits have changed so dramatically.
yeah,
Saying
dramatically,
to
yeah.
a new generation, Saturday morning cartoons, they don't even exist here in the U.S. Networks don't even
Oh,
do Saturday cartoons
oh,
It's
anymore.
done. It's done here too.
Yeah,
that is so sad. That is
you
it's
can watch it on your
important.
phone.
Ah,
Yeah,
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 you can watch on your phone. Yeah, yeah, it's true. When my computer teacher tell me the 30 years before you have a phone, you can on a phone you watch your series. I would never believe a word, you know. So
No, no.
even then,
And I think it helped create, in a way, a genuine community among people of a certain age who watch the show. Because I love binge watching. I'll binge watch
oh, of
anything
course,
I can.
I'm in.
But having a show like X-Men back then come out in real time, if you were a fan, you had to wait a week
Yeah,
and you had to think, what's going to happen next?
yeah,
Did you see what happened? Especially the episodes that ended with "to be continued," because X-Men
yeah,
was one of the very first animated shows that did that to the viewing audience.
yeah,
That asked you to come back and remember what had happened before. That was an experience, back then, and you
yeah.
had to wait a while. And if you missed an episode,
I
just
knew.
ask.
yeah,
Yeah, I knew that feeling to wait on the next week. Yeah, I'm familiar with this feeling. I knew this, and I feel that was really great in the time then, you know. So we have so many great series here in Germany, and we wait for so much great prisoner series here, we're famous in Germany. We wait next week and stuff. You know, this is great feeling. Now you have right, and that is now is being watching, or you became the half season, and 3 weeks later the other half of the season. That's the time now, guys. You know,
Yeah,
and that
and you
is
can binge a show, but I'm
it's different.
convinced it sticks in your head differently. People who watched X-Men originally,
yeah,
that was 5 years of your life that you invited this show into your home, into your life. That's 5 years versus taking those shows, compressing it down, and watching the whole thing over a weekend,
even today I
which you can
watch
do
it.
here in the US on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
But it hits you different. It sticks with you. It sticks
yeah.
with you in a way
Have,
because of the time.
have you heard that Disney Plus is going to have a new animated X-Men
Of
series in
course, I know, and
fall?
this, you have here the background, and I hope you guys working
Oh,
on this.
Yes.
we can report, and we're looking around. Oh yeah, X-Men 97 right there.
But before
We
we talk that, I have
we can't talk much.
okay, but I will tell you something. For me, you know, even today I watch the X-Men series because they give me something, give me a home, a soul and ground in my life because I see characters that I love and you know this feeling I have this feeling even 30 years later. You gave me a solid ground and so hey, it's home safe. Thank you, both from the bottom of my heart. That is really, really so. You gave me a solid ground and a safer feeling that the X-Men be out there and yeah, my heroes. And thank you for that. Thank you so much, Eric and Julia. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Oh my God, it was a lot of people who put the show together on the air, but to be able to talk to you about that and hear that, thank you so, so much.
You're so
Thank you, thank you.
welcome from the bottom of my heart. This was a great time, and I remember always that. I'm always the trailers on RTL Plus. Oh wow, really! And then came Spider-Man 2 on this network. So you know, it really strange. Spider-Man had 5 seasons. X-Men had 5 seasons. Iron Man have only 2 seasons. Yeah, by Iron Man, I remember I am Iron Man. Woo! Wow! Wow! I even love the sound to this day. You know, I listen in my daily playlist all the time. So before we talk about the sequel series, how much, guys, this was for you too important that the characters look like that we love on the comic books? How important was this for you that they'll have the same look? Tell me.
It's interesting. I can't pretend that I'm speaking to the intricacies of the art from the comic books, but the artists who were on the art side of this, they it was in their bones. They knew what mattered
They
because they were fans.
they desperately cared about it, and they would have long discussions with the animators and with Marvel about really tiny, specific details of what each of the characters looked like. And because they love the comics, and they realized that there had been 30 years of X-Men comics, so
Yes.
there had been different looks.
Mhm.
And so they had to say, okay, we need to decide on our look, which was closest to Jim Lee, the artist Jim Lee's look
In the
in the
comic,
comics.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they needed to simplify it a bit for the budget of animation we had. We didn't have Disney's money. We didn't have like a features money. So there's a streamlining and simplification of the comic art to be able to move it.
Yes.
Because as they pointed out at once said, don't call for a really detailed character to do a lot of moving, because at each one of those little details has to be hand painted over and over and over and over and over again. So there was, but once they establish, it's a very important thing in an animated show. Once you establish the design, everybody along the way, all the storyboard artists, all the animators, everybody has to have their book, their Bible of, this is exactly the way Wolverine looks.
Yeah.
Down to,
Oh, yes. I love this guy.
Millimeter. And this is exactly what the color palette is. And this is exactly what happens as he moves his head.
And the hand gloves from Wolverine, amazing. And the claws coming out on the hand gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, also a thing because again, it was a language I didn't know, but looking at X-Men, the animated series, a term cell shading, which I didn't appreciate, but I do now, that there is a lot of, it looks more like a comic book than a lot of animated series, because they put the effort in to make it look like a comic book.
Yeah.
To put an extra detail of shadow or like say a thicker dark line along the edges to where it just, the characters would jump out a bit. And that was something that our artists fought for, because it obviously cost them more time and money. To do that, rather than the simpler drawings that some of the previous, say, Super Friends or something from the earlier attempts that were kind of flat and didn't have the presence. So there was a lot on the artist side that they brought to make the look right.
And they make great job. Wow. Really, I love the design for the characters. Thank you.
We can tell you one behind the scenes.
Yeah, please.
So if you can picture Mr. Sinister.
Oh,
that
yeah.
spectacular character. Okay. Now picture his cape was what Larry Houston called a rooster tail cape, because it was individual strips of fabric. And he said, if I have Mr. Sinister do a quarter turn, the animators are going to kill me, because each one of those strips has to be hand animated, because it was all hand animation back then.
Yeah.
So Larry came up with what I think was a very smart solution for the use of Mr. Sinister. If you go back and watch the episodes, he steps forward out of the shadow. Oh, okay. And then you cut to someone else talking, and you cut back to him, and he is moved.
And he's already turned.
To a different part of the show.
Okay,
he turned while you're watching someone else.
I get it.
And you don't have to animate all those bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So it made him creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
like
word.
Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah.
To where he moved very, he didn't move much. And it came out of, the inspiration came out of financial necessity.
Wow.
We can't pay for all that movement.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so we loved, so many of the people we worked with had that kind of clever creativity to where they would take
talent.
a limit. They would take a limit of what we had and turn it into something special and unique to our show.
Yeah. You have no internet in this time. The people know your faces then. And now we have internet, you can search for the faces, write it on something, and it's different, And back then, no one knew you were cut off your faces. So we have no internet in this time, 30 years before. So, and how is this for you guys? Now that people know you, that you work on this. How is this for you? How was this for you first when you meet a friend for the first time? Tell me about it. When you remember it.
We show went off the air in 1997, and we've continued to work on it. As Eric said, each of us about 50 shows over the course of our lifetime. But dear old X-Men was the product of a time when Marvel Studios was going through bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And by the time the show went off the air, Marvel had sold off bits and pieces of so many of her properties, and there was no studio behind the show moving forward.
To keep going.
Like Batman had Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
Star Trek has Paramount, X-Men the animated
It
series
just
had
kind
no.
of stopped. So for 10 years or so, it wasn't,
15.
or 15 years, wasn't such a big thing. Then in 2017.
So we were coming up on an anniversary.
So 6 years. So she had me write this book where I interviewed everybody in the show previously on X-Men. I interviewed everybody.
That's an oral history in the book, and he did it because no one else was doing it.
Yeah,
No one else.
We called Marvel. Do you want a book? And they said, no, the rights were split. Marvel had some, Saban had some, Fox.
Sony
had some.
even then, Fox 20,
Yeah,
Fox
yeah.
10.
So they were not interested in putting one penny into making this. So we wrote the book. That got us invitations to Comic Cons.
Because prior to that, we're behind the
So
scenes.
we would go and we'd have a panel and we'd tell about the book and we'd sell the book.
Wow.
And,
What a blast.
and the fans would come up and the fans suddenly knew who we were.
It was amazing.
So
Yeah,
it was because
I'm sure it
writing
is.
of the book in 2017, getting it out that fall, and then from then on, just a couple, once or twice a month, being at a Comic Con or doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Even more than the cons.
Yeah.
And we hope one day we have friends that are in the business that will go, say, over to Europe for a month.
Oh, please come to
And
Germany, guys. I will
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
Ollie,
Yeah.
please, fans,
Yeah.
please let them know
Yeah.
you want us.
and they'll go
We'd love
to,
to go.
I will tell the
one
Comic Con
time
here. I will, sure.
one another. So yeah, we're having our broker work on that. Maybe when 97 comes out, X-Men 97.
Oh, so what happened? Eric put out the book previously on X-Men, the oral history. And again, he was right. We couldn't get major places to return our phone calls, so we just put it out ourselves. And then 2 years later, Eric got an email from the person in charge of global licensing for Marvel. And we thought instantly, we're about to get smashed.
We'll be
We're
in
about to
trouble.
get shut down.
Yeah,
because of this.
yeah.
It wasn't trouble. Instead, they said we love you.
Oh,
Let us use all the because we couldn't use all the art.
we must talk about it.
The rights.
Wow.
So they said, now let's do the book with all the art in it.
You mean you want to work with us?
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to write this book? It's like, yeah, we do.
So that went very well. And
Came out October 2020, right at the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
but
so those two books have provided us an opportunity to start going to cons more.
Yeah.
And we've been that's been our payoff, the gratification that we because we get the contact that we didn't have back then. Because in 1992, all the email, all the mail that went to Fox Studios never filtered down to any of us. So
say fan mail, whatever. And X-Men, so we discovered through going to the cons and just doing the arithmetic, doing the math, that there are hundreds of millions of people that have seen the show.
Yeah, that is true.
And if half of them really enjoyed it, that's a lot of people that we still have a chance to meet. And they are very nice. In 6 years of going to cons, no angry questions, no snark, no.
The guys love you. That's true. That's true.
People are very so it's great. It's great for us. We get to meet people and to have people that come up to us saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's
wonderful. It is magic. It's magic.
We will continue. And yes, we will make it to Europe.
Boy.
I will send the Comic Con here, the German Comic Con, your email when it's like for you, okay, and they can write you. I cannot do this for you. I'm sure they would. You invited, of course. But we have so much great German Comic Con here. It's just a idol from the U.S. San Diego Comic Con. And we have every year so many guests for everyone, and I'm sure they made God is for you. So you say you're blessed with that because of they made a great, amazing job, guys, and that is so. Thank you so much. And can you be proud of yourself, what you do, people like me. It was a really dark time. In my time, I was in my youth. going to my adult life. And I've not a solid ground, but you gave me a solid ground with the X-Men series. Because it was from family for me, and familiar feeling, and safe feeling, and thank you. Thank you.
I to that point, I think a thing that we knew then and are able to verbalize now, what the X-Men, yeah, they each have amazing superpowers and stuff blows up, but it was about these folks, these mutants, finding each other and a found family.
Yeah.
They had been rejected by wherever it was they were coming from, and they found each other. And Professor Xavier served as the father figure for them. And good Lord, they could be at each other's throats one minute, but they were always there for each other, when it came to it. And we talked about it. If you go back and watch the pilot, the opening two-part
Night
pilot,
of the Sentinels.
Night of the Sentinels,
Yeah.
it does not start with, well, I'm a bad mutant, well, I'm a good mutant, let's have a fight. Instead, you're introduced to the idea of a government program put out by people who maybe had legit reason to be scared of some of these mutants because you didn't know how strong they were. And you had these sentinels sent out to just capture the mutants. So it became then a story about the fact that you were being persecuted just because of how you were born, just because of the way you were born.
Yeah.
And I think that then when Magneto did come into the third episode, he had a platform to stand on, saying, look what the government, look what the bad people are doing to you, Charles, and all your mutant friends over there. And you had a legitimate discussion in a way that you couldn't have if it was just mutant versus mutant. Here it was a world of people with the mutations.
People that had been turned away from their previous lives found a family with Professor X.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, that's amazing what you said. You have right. This so for me was so. Everyone on the X-Men have some piece from me. Professor X have a piece from me. Jean, Wolverine, Beast. They have all some little piece from me, and I think that makes it special for me because I recognize my mistakes in there or my good mistake. This was the feeling I have that, and thank you so much, really.
Oh. Eric, we got that one piece of art, the Neil Adams art. An interesting, we can hold. Yeah, just to show you a thing.
Of course.
Because the show.
This was the first.
This was the first promotional piece. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh! Storm. I love. Oh, thank you for showing me. But if you look at
that, you can see that it's not the full team because when this piece was produced, they didn't know who the full team was going to be.
And the high chef from Professor Xavier is orange.
You caught that?
It's orange. Yeah.
And you'll notice there's no Beast, there's no Gambit, and there's no Jean Grey in that.
And Jubilee.
Yeah. Oh no, Jubilee's there.
I was telling you.
She's there. But the point is, when we started, we weren't sure. We knew about 5 or 6 of the people that we knew were going to be in the show, starting with Xavier and Cyclops and Wolverine, and Rogue.
Rogue, Rogue,
and Storm. So that's about the 5 that we knew going after the first meetings. They're going to be there, and we had a Jubilee to
introduce
to be the introduction for young people into this strange world of adult mutants. That she found herself in, and had her be but beyond that, we started writing the stories that first season, and Beast and Jean, who were not necessarily going to be first tier there every episode.
No, they came. Yeah, that makes sense.
They were just such strong characters. They asserted themselves, and the writers kept on talking to me and said, "Well, the story's good, but it would be better if we had a scene with Beast, another scene with Beast." So that's why we put Beast in jail in episode 3, because we thought we might not see him for 7 or 8 episodes. But no, we kept going back because he's such a unique character. Nobody else is like him. And the same with Jean. Every time there's a problem in the X-Men family, somehow Wolverine could talk to Jean. Storm could talk to Jean. Rogue could talk to Jean. Jubilee, everybody could talk to Jean, even if they're mad at somebody else. She's was kind of this heart.
The heart of
in
this
the middle
team,
of,
yeah.
of the family.
Yeah.
Again, this is too small, but I'm going to hold it up here. There we go. If you can read that.
All
This is
those.
from Eric's original Bible.
Ah.
And you can see there, Gene and Beast aren't even listed as being.
Yeah.
They're listed as other.
Yeah.
Because at that time, you didn't realize until you got started how important their voices would be to the team.
Yeah.
But it makes sense what you do because someone of the X-Men joined the X-Men later, even in the comics. Wolverine came late, all the other special mutants came later. So it makes sense that you made a standard team and then came the other two. Yeah, this makes sense. This was the comic book way. Yeah.
So
that was great. A great move and great pitch. By the way, what I say. And how was this for you? You made 5 seasons with every story arc. And why your show is cancelled? Why is season 5 is season 5? Yeah.
All money whoever had, because it was still doing very well.
Yes.
And we thought we were stopping at 65 episodes at 4 seasons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, "Oh, we need more. We need 6 more. Needs 5." So the last 11 were kind of an afterthought, where the animation is cheaper, where they cut the budget in half. For the anime, and the audience can tell. We lost some of our production staff then, and so reasons for that. But I think it just was the people that were making the decision. It's a mixture. It's the network about how much money's coming in. It's the advertisers, but it's also the production company that owns the rights.
Yeah.
And Marvel just gone bankrupt.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Sven had taken over, and he had other series that he owned a larger part of. He did not own a part of the X-Men. He had so some people making decisions about what goes on the air on Fox might not be the best for Fox. It might not be the best show, but it's what that person has a financial stake in. So that's all we could figure. We had another show we did called Young Hercules.
Live
action.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it won it was on Fox. It won its time slot. It made the money. And then it didn't get renewed. And we asked them why. He said, well, because there are the 3 other shows that certain people, that have an investment in. They don't have it in this one. So sorry.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to get a show on the air. And then it's so hard to make it good.
Yeah.
And then there could be just the one wrong person there saying, I don't like it, or I don't have, it won't make me as much money as this other show, so goodbye. So it's you're thankful for the times that the good shows you work on are on, because you have no control.
Yeah. This is ironic what you say. After 4 seasons, we have only 4 seasons in German. The 5th season was not translated in Germany, not German voices. Yeah, it was ended with season 4, and we fans called RTL. Why came no more? They have no more series. And then I heard from the friend in the USA, they live now in Australia. In the time she lived in the USA, say, "Oh, it's fun, it's over." And then 3 months later, she called me by my foster mother. She said, "Come on, kid, is someone called from the US?" Yeah, okay, just a moment. So let's go further. X-Men, let's go further. Season 5 is on air. Okay, then send me VHS tapes. So she sent me VHS tapes from the US, so I can only the English version. But I was so happy to see the final season. That is really great, and I was so sad this ended. Have you guys even planned for season 6, or was this really finished of that?
This was really the planned end.
Yeah.
Only because if you go back and watch the 4-parter that wraps up season 4, Beyond Good and Evil, it
was going to be. It was going to be the end. It was going to, but and then they added these 11. And so they probably, like with German, the people that added the last 11 episodes maybe made different international deals so that they didn't pay for a German translation. They didn't pay for certain things. They didn't pay for as good animation.
It was so sad, season 5 not a German translation. We fans even today say to Marvel, please make the series in German, and they not hear us, and this is so a shame, really.
Well, the new one is going to be 97.
I cut it out, no problem.
Sure. The new one has a big, wonderful Marvel budget, so it will be playing everywhere. It will have either dubbed and or subtitled for probably 30 languages. It's Disney Plus, so they're going to put a lot of money into it. The nice thing, it's not. It's really being produced by a group of young artists and writers that they've been working on almost 3 years now. They've been putting a lot of time and money to make this new series beautiful. And they were not good to us. They asked us on as consultants.
Along with Larry Houston, we are consulting producers on X-Men 97.
Well, congrats, guys. You deserve this.
Thank you.
Yeah, but just so you know, they are really crazed. They're all about in their late 30s. They are crazed fans of the original show that were 7 or 10 years old when the show came on. Now they're artists and writers and successful in Hollywood.
Major.
And the showrunner named Bo, who's the nicest guy, Bo DeMaio, he said the one prerequisite he had before he interviewed every one of the writers and all of the artists were you have to be a big fan of the original show.
Yeah.
That was it. So, because he said he's worked on other series where it's an extension of the series and the people doing it don't care about the original show or don't care about the comics
or the source
material. And so you lose a common goal there. So at a minimum, it's going to be different.
Just a moment. We wait. Just a moment. We wait. We wait when Julia came back.
There's our German Shepherd. Come back. So it's obviously it's 2023 is not the same as 1993.
No. That's
the world has changed. These are young people. They have their own vision, but they love our show, and they are treating the new show as a continuation.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
It's maybe a few weeks later.
4 weeks later. That's amazing. Really, that's amazing.
So in that way, it's not a spin-off. It's not some.
It's a continuous series. Yeah, Marvel said this before. Yeah.
And you're supposed to. They assume a lot of their audience will know the original stories.
You've got the clicker.
We'll know the original story, and we'll
jump right back in.
Yeah, jump right back in. So in that way, we can't say much about it. But Marvel is very secret, and we don't want to spoil anything.
No, we don't.
But we've seen scripts, we've seen some animation. We know how much care is being put into the show.
Yeah.
So
have you watched it? Have you still watched it?
We have very high hopes.
Have you a preview of the new episodes or not? Tell me, please.
That's all we can say.
Yeah, as I said, we've read scripts. We have read scripts, and we've seen a couple minutes of animation. It's in animation now. We've heard some of the recording, voice recording.
Oh God!
And many of the characters.
Yeah, I read that for same voice actors. Yeah, wow. They continue the new X-Men series. Wow, wow. Wow, well, it's great. And can you tell I have the same intro or is this a different intro?
It won't be the same intro, but the good news is, of course we know this is public.
I didn't know where you were going. Okay, now I know. Sorry.
The good news is that they have hired Larry Houston, who storyboarded our intro. Who designed the new intro. So they got the same gentleman. They got our artist who directed the first 4 seasons.
Yeah.
He directed all the first 4 seasons.
And he crafted the original intro.
Yeah. He is working with them and is in charge of directing, crafting the new intro. Whatever the new intro is, we haven't seen one bit of that.
Yeah.
But we do that they hired Larry to do it.
But this is Marvel. They listen to the fans, and I love Marvel
Yes.
because of this. DC not do this, not really, and I'm so glad that Marvel hears the fans, and
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's so important for us these voices to have it. But I love Robert Downey Jr. in the original, by the way. But he's German voice actor Tobias Meister is his name. He speak him so great and give him so much, just like the original in Germany. That's just, wow, really, I was so blessed with that. And before we get deeper in the new series, you write every episode on the season. You have every time story arc. Was this ever the brain to tell a story arc for every season?
Well, not back then. Most animated shows, they wouldn't let us do, in most other shows, connected stories because the animation would come back bad and they'd have to delay. They just didn't want us to bother. But the first season that that was planned 1 through 13, and we didn't know. We were all let go after the first season.
Okay.
They all thought, okay, it could just be 1 year and done. And then it became a big #1 hit, and they brought us most of us back.
Yeah.
But we planned 1 through 13 through all the stuff with the Sentinels. We planned that as connected, and then after that we would plan things like 2-parters or the Phoenix Saga.
Oh, the Phoenix Saga, I loved it. Wow.
So we planned those connected, but after the first season, where there were production problems, where there were delays.
Yeah, I read it about it.
Yeah,
I read about it.
We started later. Yeah, they just said, look, you can't have the entire season connected anymore. You just have to, do bits and pieces and do some of your multi-parters.
Yeah.
But so we kind of half did connected stories because we always thought that was like comics and like the best of live action adult television were connected stories.
Well, in season 2, you came up with the idea to weave the Savage Land into every episode.
Yeah.
So we told them, look, we can, if you're worried about the production, we can do these little 45-second scenes in the Savage Land with Charles Xavier and Magneto, and do the whole 13 of those, and have those finished. And the other episodes, it's hard. Don't notice it. Don't notice it now. But any one of the ones in the middle, the 9 middle episodes, could be moved around. If one came back animated poorly and there was a delay, you could move them around and just put that little bit of the Savage Land.
Yeah.
The Savage Land progressed. The other 9 episodes in the second season didn't. They were kind of their own. So it looks like it's all connected in the second season, but that was a little bit of a trick that we got away with. And after that, it was not terribly connected. But the thing at the thing at the beginning of the episode, previously on X-Men.
Have you heard this every time in Germany, by the way? Previously on X-Men, have you heard this every time in German? Have you heard it before? Okay, you say in the USA, previously on the X-Men. Das ist passiert bei den X-Men oder zuletzt bei den X-Men. That's the German version from previously on X-Men.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
I love it.
So that we had a very good editor who edited the show very tightly, very fast, and she was good at making those 45-second little recaps,
teaser,
making them really remind you of bits and pieces that led into the new story. So even if there wasn't a connection, she made you feel one.
And a woman named Sharon Janis. And that, to her credit, she's the one who proposed those little mini recaps. And there was pushback. Kids aren't going to, you're going to confuse people. But she pointed out, no, I'll use animation you've already produced.
Save you money.
I'll save you money.
Yeah.
And they went, you got it. Again, another thing. A little cheap there, but figuring out how to turn that to the show's advantage.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me ask, have you watched the X-Men intro that I sent you via email, the German version? Have you watched it?
I have not seen.
Wait,
No.
I think I've seen it. Does it intercut with live action kids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was a great intro. I love this. This was a German creation, but it was cool at the time then, and it was, they made only the 1 minute intro, and they later put in this with the kids. It was great, really. I love that, really. And when I hear it, es geht jetzt los in einer neuen Zeit, I love that. It's so back then, so much memories, and wow. So, last question to the old series. What is your favorite episode? Tell me. What is your favorite episode?
Okay.
Julia and Eric, tell me.
Well, we talked about this. Okay. For the whole series, I have to, in spite of the animation issues of the 5th season, I have to give credit to the absolute last episode called Graduation Day, which is the episode where the X-Men say goodbye to Xavier because he's been hurt,
dying.
he's dying,
Yeah.
he has to go. And look, the animation, but that episode, it still brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's just the saying goodbye.
Yeah, the say
Parting.
goodbye. Yeah.
Oh my God. But then my other favorites, I think, are the ones you're going to mention, and if you're not, I'll mention them.
Yeah. One that really was just a highlight because it was on me to come up with most of the stories, and when the idea for One Man's Worth came to me, where
The two-parter.
two-parter where they go back to kill Xavier in college so that he never forms X-Men.
That was a great episode.
That one was very satisfying to me creatively. The first Phoenix saga was 5-part, was a challenge because to get all 5 episodes, each one ends, kind of wraps up nicely, and then it builds and lasts for 110 for 5 stories. And I was able to do that with my two closest friends from college, who I'd written with for years before we even started in an animation. And so we just were able to do that, the 3 of us. Usually the schedule was very tight and we were in a hurry, and whatever writer was free, okay, you see him, boom, 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 for the story. This one, we had some extra time, and they said, okay, and I just asked, can it just be the 3 of us? And just working together, nobody. Yes, you 3 lay it out. It's a big deal. It's a big project. So that one was a personal favorite because of the way I was able to work with Mark and Michael.
Wow. Thank you. What a view in this. Wow, thank you. And please let me ask you. I'm sure that people never ask you this. Have you guys wrote the Spider-Man X-Men crossover episode in Spider-Man?
The people that made that show, and back then it was hard to get the rights to connect shows like that.
Yeah.
Because you tried.
Yeah. They called. Yeah, John Semper, who was in charge of the Spider-Man, called and said, Eric, we've got permission to do a crossover. It's going to be 2 parts. We have the story laid out, but we don't have your experience writing the X-Men characters. So would you and Michael, again, one of my 2 partners, writing partners forever, would you and Michael come over and write all the dialogue, all the X-Men characters? So we went over and we did, and we worked with John, who's a friend, and that was our contribution. We didn't come up with a story, but we did write all the dialogue for the...
Was a great crossover.
For the crossover.
Yeah, it was great. X-Men and Spider-Man together, this was really great. I remember all the episode ends and Spider-Man left, the X-Men, Xavier not helped them, and Beast and Wolverine followed them and helped them. Wow, really. And I love on the end on the crossover when Gambit say, U.S. Spider-Man. Yeah, you're one of us, And when you and Wolverine say, I say this to you in Germany, du hast Freunde, wenn du sie brauchst. Also, ruf uns an. And then they fly back and Spider-Man say, wow, This was a great team. You look on that and I say, it was a great team. Well, it was great. Thank you so much for doing that. I loved that episode, really. This was great, really.
All right.
That is wonderful to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. And please tell me, you have made some great book for this. Show me you. So art, show me again.
La, la, la.
Ah, wow, this is so, wow.
And this book was made with cooperation from Disney Marvel.
Yeah.
So we were able to use all kinds of art that we had to go digging for. 30 years had passed, and you can't find
Wolverine.
stuff
Whoa.
much of the stuff hadn't gotten saved.
Wow.
So all these things here.
I don't think there's a German version yet, but there may be.
Yeah.
The Spanish version came out about 6 months ago.
We just found out that
Thank
they
you.
produced
Wow,
books
for
in
the
Spanish.
few. Thank you. Wow. Guys, can you send me a copy from this with an autograph from you? Can we talk about this later?
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
later. 'Cause,
Okay. Thank you.
Postage is nasty
Yeah,
internationally.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But we'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
Ho-
So we had this book and then Eric's first book.
Eric's first book.
previous
Okay.
to
And how came this book together? How became the idea to make it? Was Marvel the idea, or was this your idea?
The first book was our idea, was her idea.
Yeah. Okay. Julia's idea. Yeah.
It was easier for me because it's a personal history of how the show went from the first day all through the 5 years. And then I was able to interview everyone. So that way, it was very much in our control. And we had old scripts and storyboards.
We've kept everything in our garage.
Whoa,
I
in
was-
garage. Whoa, amazing.
and creative notes and things. So I was able to tell the history from beginning to end and hear new bits of it. For instance, like that's Jean Grey. It's funny. The actors look a lot like their characters.
And
Yeah.
they were all up in Canada. We'd never met them because they were recorded in
there's-
Canada.
Yeah.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
The Norse. Anyway, so we were able to do that pretty much ourselves. There's a small publisher in San Diego that published the book.
Yeah.
And then the second one, as I said, was the idea of Marvel. They had just bought 20th Century Fox,
Yeah.
or it had just announced. So they're getting the rights back because the split rights. And so they said, now we can make a book, and now they can make profit off it, and not fight with 20th Century Fox over what the book should be.
Yeah.
So we made this with Marvel at a major publisher called Abrams, who Marvel uses for lots of their art books.
Wow.
And Larry Houston and Rick Coburg did the original art on the cover and on the back.
Yeah.
And there's several original
Yeah.
pieces in the book from Will Mineo.
Yeah.
So
original
three of the four major artists that were in charge of designing and drawing the show
Yeah.
from that we actually contributed to making the book look beautiful.
That's really beautiful book, really. Wow. Thank you that you showed me so much from it. But I love this, really, really. And the cover is great, and the back from the back cover, wow, really. That's a really great idea. When you left the show, how was this for you? Have you guys lost something in your life? I mean, this was a special time for you.
X-Men was a very special time. We were brand new parents, and became parents again. Our second son was born in October of '92 when X-Men debuted as a sneak peek on Fox Kids. So we had two little ones. X-Men just started. You had moved on to a show called Exo Squad because we had all been let go after that first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were doing
we
Exo
got that.
Squad.
Got that going. But the nice thing for X-Men was it was so successful that as soon as we were done, we got lots of good offers.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't make any special royalties or any extra money for doing X-Men. We just got a usual fee.
Yeah.
But the fact it was so successful, for the next 5 or 6 years, we got lots of good offers. As long as there was this interest in action adventure,
Boys Action.
Yeah.
boys action adventure shows. So there were many series, Mummies Alive and
Skeleton Warriors, RoboCop, Alpha Commando.
RoboCop. Great.
So we got 6 or 7 more series.
Yeah.
We got probably primarily because of the success we had for X-Men. So
Young Hercules.
we didn't have much time to feel wistful and miss it
Yeah.
because
Which was nice.
we had new deadlines with new
And
characters.
new work, yeah, yeah, I get it, yeah. But have you guys ever planned for season 6 when you, or it was no idea for season 6?
No.
It was really
Because
ended.
when you called back to do 6 episodes and then 5 episodes, that's not a normal order for what became season 5. A normal order is 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So
it was already kind of like, wait, what? Huh? Where? How?
We knew it was done. And,
Yeah.
And that's fine. And as I say, Marvel was going bankrupt, and so it was definitely done at that time. So we weren't thinking about what more, what's going to be season 7 or what.
We could have
Yeah.
if they'd asked us
No.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the new people that are doing the new show, they are thinking. They
Wow.
hope that they're so excited and so full of energy for it. They're thinking hopefully 2 or 3 seasons in the future.
We can only hope it goes
And,
that far, but
we
yeah.
hope it does. But
Yeah.
but no, we're pretty much done. So
Yeah, but no, we're thrilled with what
it was-
they're coming up with. And again, it's the year 2023. There's now 60 years of X-Men comic book material, source material to draw from. 60 years.
Whoa, that's
You have
amazing.
30.
Yeah. And when I look at the picture in the back, X-Men, the sequel series, that's all your signature on this. When I look at this, it's all your signature. The C7, that's all your signature, all your handwriting. That's your work, guys.
They could have picked any team,
but it did work.
but they are picking it up where X-Men
so-
left off. So that's very gratifying.
So Ollie, I think we're getting near.
Our dogs are getting even more restless.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So tell me, when you guys asked for the sequel series, how was this for you to the Marvel say we made a sequel series? I'm sure you never expected, or because
Oh, it was a wonderful phone call to be
God.
asked to be part of it.
Yes, it was magic because we knew that when X-Men the Animated Series debuted here in the U.S. on Disney Plus back in 2019, I think it was, when it came out on Disney Plus. I think we knew it was wildly popular, and I think part of that was it hadn't been available for a long time. But to have Marvel Disney reach out to us specifically and say we're doing this again, and we'd like you to be involved. That was mind-blowing and really wonderful. Really wonderful.
you guys deserve this. I say that every time. Really, you deserve this. You made it so special for all of us, and you need to stay all of this. This is your projects, your baby.
Well, I'll tell you, when they made the billion-dollar movies, they used the team you picked for X-Men the Animated Series.
Yeah.
They could have picked anybody, but they picked the team you worked with the exception of Jubilee and Rogue, but they still use Rogue.
Yeah.
So I feel I take a certain maternal pride in that this billion-dollar franchise happened.
Yeah.
And I still think X-Men the Animated Series was the gateway for an audience that wasn't there before for these characters. And
That's
now, like
true.
I said, the Marvel MCU, the success of the X-Men movies begat the making of the Iron
All
Man
X-Men
series.
movies was great. All of them. I love them. I not understand the criticism or the people that say not great. All great movies. Dark Phoenix was a great movie. Deadpool, New Mutants, all that. I love that, And 20 Fox made a great job. Really. And it was the first time the X-Men came out on a live action movie, and I think they made a great job. I mean, it's only the first time, And
I got to say this too. Margaret Lesh, who was the president of Fox Kids, kept going to the live action Fox division saying, this show is big and it's got a bigger audience than you realize, because we were getting ratings back that adults, were watching the show. College students were watching the show. Parents were watching it. It wasn't just kids.
No.
So she was telling them, guys, explore this. There's a live action potential here.
Even my foster mother watched this. every my foster mother watched this with us. She watched this with us. So she said, well, that's cool.
yeah.
That's a cool series, And she loved all the intro theme. And I say, yeah, that's a cool intro, really. And in season 5 came a short version of it. How came that you made for the 5 seasons such a short intro? How became that? The 30 seconds only.
I'm sure in the last season, it was just, again, the new people were in charge. I think maybe if they recut it, they might say make some
30 extra seconds.
Money, or 30 extra seconds, and maybe do another commercial,
Yeah.
or maybe make money off of the music if they change the music a little.
A little bit.
Maybe
Yeah.
they make the money and the original person doesn't. Those it wasn't a creative decision. It was obviously it was a money decision. So, but anyway, so many were. So Ollie, it's good to see. It's
Nice to talk with you like this. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Of course.
Let you get to sleep.
No. I have work something to do. So
All right.
Thank you, Ollie.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ollie.
So we will sign off now then. All right, let us know when this airs. And we can
Yeah,
hopefully get
I
it
will
out.
bring it
Okay?
out on the weekend. I will edit something,
Great.
and please send me a photo from you guys. I used it for the video. I need
Okay.
Will do.
Okay,
Okay.
Julia, Eric, take care. God bless you. Bye, bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Jawohl, thank you so much. Yes, that was awesome. Thank you to Eric and Julie. Ja, Lewald, thank you so much that you joined me for my 50th episode. Danke, dass ihr dabei für die 50. Ausgabe. Wow, ich kann es gar nicht fassen. 50 Ausgaben, das ist so eine Ehre, wenn ich Spin-off und all das bisschen anrichte. Einschreichende 50 Ausgaben, wow. Danke wirklich an alle, die mich bis hierhin gebracht haben, die geholfen haben, die Supporter waren, die für uns Grafiken, Jingles und so weiter gemacht haben. Dankeschön. Da gibt es am Anfang des Interviews auch eine ausführliche Widmung zu. Wow, vielen, vielen Dank. Ich freue mich. Ich bin voller Freude auf die nächsten Ausgaben. Und ja, damit einen schönen Sonntag euch. Und wir machen direkt weiter heute. Das ist wirklich hier im Einrutsch. Also, wir hören uns. Bis bald. Bleibt gesund. Vielen, vielen Dank. Und 50 Ausgaben Hoodie Place. Ja, bis bald.